Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining. Welcome, everyone. I see that the people are joining the webinar, so we will give it a second for people to join, and then in a minute we will start the session. Good morning from Portugal. Great that you're always saying where you're coming from. Wonderful. Good morning here from Zaragoza, Spain, where I'm located. So, and we also have great speakers with us from different places in Europe this morning. Welcome, everyone. And good morning to this webinar. I see that people must continue joining, and it's 10 o'clock, so I will just open this session and welcome everyone again to this webinar of the project MetaHeritage. My name is Nina Hoppmann. I'm the project manager at the European Clusters Alliance, and I will guide you through this session this morning on the European Digital Innovation Hubs, which are entities that support the digitalization of SMEs in different sectors and, of course, all across Europe. This webinar is the fourth one of our series that we have under the MetaHeritage project to introduce to you different support networks that are available on European level to enhance your business, to support the digitalization and the innovation in your respective activities. And as I said, today we are going to look at the European Digital Innovation Hubs. Digitalization is a big part of the MetaHeritage project, and to support you in bringing digital innovation into your activities, which is why we are dedicating this session today to this particular support structure. On the agenda, we have great speakers with us today. First of all, we will give the word to Gaspard Lenoir from the EU AI office to introduce to us the policy context, why were the European Digital Innovation Hubs created, what are the backbone policies, and what should they do. And then we have two concrete cases for you, one from Emilia-Romagna in Italy and one from Transylvania in Romania, with Lorenzo and Bianca, who showcase what they are doing in their respective digital innovation hubs. And they also bring some concrete examples of what kind of support they give to the SMEs. And we will, of course, answer your questions. So use the chat to send in all of the questions that you have. Can be general one, can be very specific to the points that were presented. So depending on what kind of questions, I will either ask them directly to the speakers or after the presentations. Regarding the housekeeping rules, please note that this webinar is being recorded and published afterwards on the MetaHeritage website for you to revisit it in case you would like to check what was being said. As I said, please ask your questions in the chat, or if you want, you can also raise your hand and ask it in person, and then I will try to get you on camera and microphone. And as I said, make use of it, add your comments, be active, and we will also have some Slido questions for you in the middle. So once it comes to that, I will let you know how to participate so that we can tap your brain. But first of all, let me hand over to our first presentation from Gaspard Lenoir to give us the context of the European Digital Innovation Hub. So Gaspard, the floor is yours.
Thanks a lot, Nina, and welcome to everybody. It's great to be there this morning and to have the opportunity to present the EDIs, but also the overall context, as you said, because EDIs are now becoming a centerpiece of the European strategy on digitalization and artificial intelligence uptake. So I want really to put the European Digital Innovation Hubs in that context, also explain how they interplay with other initiatives in the AI ecosystem. And then, this would be a great transition for Lorenzo and Bianca to really go into the concrete details of how these EDIs are working. Maybe we can go to the next slide. And then just very briefly to give you the kind of overall perspective in which we are for the moment at the EU level. We are, having a big push on, let's say, the AI innovation policy. We want to stay in the race for the development of artificial intelligence models, both general purpose AI models, so with generic functionalities, but also systems of artificial intelligence that companies can use for their specific business, for their specific needs in the different sectors. And that's the reason why we have been developing a new strategy back in 2025. We've labeled that the AI continent. And basically, it's a combination of, let's say, policies for giving Europe the conditions for striving in the development of AI models. 5 main pillars. First, computing infrastructure. So we want to provide through the European Digital Innovation Hubs, but also AI factories and gigafactories, access to AI innovators, to computing capacities. We do not have the same hyperscalers in Europe than the US, for instance, have, or as many data centers as in China. So it's really important that we offer also public support for companies to access computing infrastructure. I'll go very quickly into this. The second pillar is really to improve the quality and the volume of data in the European Union that AI innovators can use to fine-tune the models and improve their quality. This is an international race. Most of the models are using information available on the net, but we do have in the EU a great added value, which is all the data coming from the companies themselves, so machine data, sector-specific data, and we are creating a framework for the sharing of this wealth. I'll explain that a bit more, and how also the EDIs are playing a role into this. Then skills is absolutely essential if we want to increase the uptake of digitalization at large, but more specifically of AI. We have a shortage of skills in that specific area. EDIs also there are equipped to help companies to improve the skills of their employees, but also to spread existing easy solutions for companies and for public administration. Last 2 points, regulatory simplification. You might have heard that we are in the process of simplifying the AI Act. We have proposed a digital omnibus, simplifying reporting rules, but also in introducing the digital wallet. There again, the network of European Digital Innovation Hub is playing a very important role in explaining to the companies how to comply with the AI Act, and also bringing the question of the companies to the level of the AI office at EU level, so that we further simplify the regulatory framework. Finally, fifth pillar, this is the, let's say, development of the algorithm for sectors, the uptake of AI in specific sectors. We just adopted, end of 2025, the Apply AI strategy, selecting 10 sectors, and really using this momentum for developing specific models for agriculture, for healthcare, for mobility, and the EDIs are helping us to bring this to the companies on the ground. I'll dig a bit more into each of these subjects and then really go into the network. So if we can go to the next slide, please. On infrastructure, quickly, we have 3 levels, if you want, of infrastructure that are at the disposal of SMEs and innovators in Europe. Of course, if you want to train models, if you want to start from scratch and really train a large language model, for instance, or a general purpose AI model, you need very large computing capacity. We have a network of high performance computer in Europe. You can see that on the left in the map. This is an existing network, and you will see that it covers most of the member states, either directly through an AI factory, such as the one we have in Italy with Leonardo, but in other countries you have antennas that provide a privileged access to this existing infrastructure. We are working on this network for more than 10 years, but these computers are not necessarily today dedicated to AI. They are very performant computers for modeling, for instance, for climate change or energy grid simulation. What we are doing for the moment is adding AI GPUs to these computers, and we are also improving the access to the computers. For a long period of time, it was quite difficult for small companies, for SMEs, for small innovators to queue up and access computing slots in these computers. So the AI factories that we are creating are adding an easier access policy to the computer, if you want, with a privileged access for SME startups, AI innovators, and also mentoring for explaining to the company how to use the specific computers, because the one you have in Finland, like Lumi or Leonardo, are not exactly the same. You need to understand how to use them, and we are providing this type of service. To go a step further and really to stay in the race for the most advanced model with advanced AI, we will need more GPUs, and that's what we call the gigafactories. We will have soon in Europe 4 to 5 gigafactories with up to 100,000 GPUs, which is more or less the type of infrastructure that are used in the US or in China for the most advanced model. We launched over the summer a call for expression of interest for different stakeholders to propose investments. The gigafactories will have a slightly different model than the AI factories, because they will be 2/3 privately owned and 1/3 publicly owned. For the moment, AI factories are mainly publicly funded through member states 50% and the EU 50%. The gigafactories will be 2/3 of private investment, which also will make the business model different and ensure that access to the computing capacities will be really provided to the private sector as a priority. Why I'm speaking about that? Because the European Digital Innovation Hubs on the ground, and I'll show you the map later on, will play a very important role in guiding their clients to this type of infrastructure. We are establishing links between the European Digital Innovation Hubs, the AI factories, and the gigafactories, so that it's simple for a company to understand how to access this infrastructure. Of course, when you are a small, let's say, Belgian or Irish innovator or SME, you don't really know how to access these great opportunities. The EDIs are on the ground, locally based network, and they are developing their structural contact with this infrastructure. We can go to the next slide. So continuing on infrastructure, of course, we will not put all our kind of investment into very large computing capacities. We know that for digitalization and for AI inference, we need actually cloud, also edge cloud, much closer to the end users, so that you are reducing latency for the deployment of AI. So we also have a fully fledged strategy. We will have a Cloud and AI Development Act adopted probably in April, May this year, with a clear objective of tripling the number of EU data centers in Europe over the next 5 to 7 years. This is very ambitious. We will be working on permitting time, so reducing the time for actually getting the national or local permit. And we will do so by working on the best available techniques, notably in the field of energy consumption, water consumption, cooling system, so that when you go through the authorization process, you have pre-authorized, if you want, scheme for the cloud development. There again, very important for the eddies to be in the loop, so that the data centers that are in the local environment of the SMEs, the edge cloud infrastructure will be well known, and we are connecting the dots through this local kind of presence. Next slide, please. As I said in introduction, we are not just working on the pure infrastructure dimension. We want to have these data centers, we want to have these factories, but we also want that the quality of the data available for companies, for AI developers, but also for users is improving. As I said, in Europe, we have really a wealth of information in addition to what is available through internet or different databases. We have decades of data coming from, let's say, logistical databases, machine data, clients data. Of course, this is very sensitive to companies, and therefore we are working on, implementing a data union strategy, which is creating trust for companies to exchange data, but at the same time to pool this information within the AI factories. And we will have a concept which we call the data labs. This will be safe environment in the gigafactories, in the AI factories, with a sectorial dimension where we will go a next step compared to the data exchange we have so far through the data spaces at EU level. We will really federate the data, sanitize the data, propose also to add synthetic data to increase the pool and to improve the capacity of training the models. The European Digital Innovation Hubs will there again play a role in that by creating the link between the sectorial specialization they have and the data labs. So if a company is willing to train a model, the EDI will make the link with the AI factory. They will also create the link to the data labs so that it's possible to combine data and computing capacity. Next slide, please. As I said, a very important element of our AI and digitalization policy is to go sector by sector. So we very recently adopted the Apply AI strategy based on the Draghi report that and the concept behind this approach is to say that we don't want just to compete with the other actors such as China or the US, let's say on very large language model or very large general purpose AI models. A lot has already been invested in that area. Where we can really make a difference at EU level is by developing the model on the data, on the needs of the company directly, to understand how we can, for instance, use AI for the automotive industry, for the health industry, for the energy grid, where we have specific challenges in Europe. So this is the Apply AI strategy, and this is very much coordinated to the European Digital Innovation Hub network. Why? Because the EDIs are sector specific. So some of them have a generic AI specialization. Some of them have, let's say, a public administration specialization. Some are much more on space and aeronautics. So they are already from the design phase sector specific. And therefore they can guide the companies to the implementation of digitalization at large and AI very soon in the process. Next slide, please. So let's dive now into the network of EDIs. The concept is that digitalization and AI uptake cannot take place just in an abstract way by communicating at EU level or national level how to do it. It does not work like that. I'm speaking to an audience of clusters, so no need to explain the importance of this networking at local level. But what is very specific to the EDIs is that they really focus on, let's say, the full spectrum from overall digitalization to AI. And we will continue to do that in that AI context. We have more than 220 hubs in all EU member states, but beyond. So we also cover the EEA country, Norway, Iceland, and Liechtenstein. And we recently expanded to associated countries to the Digital Europe program. So Albania, Montenegro, Macedonia, North Macedonia, Serbia, Turkey, Ukraine. Ukraine is very active in the current context. And finally, Kosovo. So you will find at the end of my presentation the link to the platform of European Digital Innovation Hub. There you have an interactive map where you can click on the country, and it's very easy to find your local EDI. So you see the catalog. Thanks a lot for this. You will find a lot of resources, on this platform. The contact details from each of the EDIs, but also, trainings, a lot of material. Next slide, please. So the EDIs are overall providing four main types of services. You have a very important part, which is innovation and networking. I was speaking about the overall ecosystem of digitalization and AI. We have a lot of actors available on the market. I mean, we have, of course, clusters. You also have the European Enterprise Network. We have the AI factories, tomorrow the gigafactories. We also have the testing and experimentation facilities. So it's actually very rich in terms of offering, but it's also very complex for a small company to understand how to access these services. So one of the primary role of the European Digital Innovation Hub is to put their clients in contact with other initiatives, if needed, to really guide them easily and work as an entry door for the digitalization and AI ecosystem. That's a very important element. Now, the second service, which for us is absolutely essential, is test before invest. When you speak to companies and to business owner about digitalization at large, but specifically about AI, what they tell you is, yes, but is it really providing benefit? What is the return on investment of AI? If I'm a small company, let's say in the construction sector, or let's say in logistics, what is a proven concept? How can I be sure that if I'm investing in AI, I will have a good return on investment and that it is safe? So the test before invest is an essential function for the uptake of digitalization and AI. European Digital Innovation Hubs have infrastructure, they have experience, and they will provide this testing, first level of testing, where they can prove the concept of AI uptake for your specific company, and therefore bring trust in the process. They will also put you in contact with trusted partners at local level who are able to provide the services on a, let's say, confidence basis. I mean, most of the business owners, they will not accept to enter into contact or business with an AI provider or a digitalization provider that is not already well known or kind of, let's say, used by other partners in the same region. They are very wary to provide their data, their business and client information to somebody who's not trusted. And the role of the European Digital Innovation Hub is to have this network of partners, also of EU-made solution that you can rely on when going the next step. The third service is the support to find investment. Of course, we know that European Enterprise Network, but also clusters are very efficient also in networking with commercial banks, but also different type of public funds. We are also guiding through the European Digital Innovation Hub network our companies towards local funding, regional funding, commercial banks, and we are actually teaming up very much with EEN and clusters on that. You know that we developed a memorandum of understanding together to really guide our clients to the right entry door depending on the needs. Finally, we have the skills and training, which is a very important part. We have, trainings at EU level on the uptake of AI, on how to use AI factories, how to implement, for instance, the regulatory framework, such as the AI Act. But we also have, through the European Digital Innovation Hub at local level, trainings in the local language that SMEs can use, and this is extremely important. I will not be much longer because I really want the colleagues to be able to step in and really provide concrete examples. Just to let you know, maybe going to the next slide, that we can go to the next slide, that we are actually going, so we have this skills program. We have, the scale-up fund that we are developing at EU level to really help companies to go from, let's say, the startup phase to the growing phase. This will be really the next very important step at EU level. And we are also renewing our commitment to the network of European Digital Innovation Hub so that it's lasting over time and creating long-lasting relationship at local level. If you go to the next slide, we have a couple of information on the consolidation of the network. We have had recently a new call for a batch of European Digital Innovation Hubs. We will have a second batch to really renew this European Digital Innovation Hub. Of course, Nina, you will be sharing my slides to the audience. You will find more information if you are interested, and because I know that some clusters members are also members of European Digital Innovation Hubs, but it's not the time to really go into the details. You will find all the information on this in the next slides. I will stop there. And of course, I'm happy to get any question in the next minutes. Otherwise, I will have to step in another meeting. But I'm sure that Lorenzo and Bianca will be able to provide in-depth, reply and information on the concrete work of the EDs at local level. Many thanks again for your attention, and I wish you an excellent seminar.
Many thanks, Gaspar, for all the details that you've given in the background. Wonderful. Yes, we will share the slides on the website on MetaHeritage, so you can revisit all of the slides. And if you have any questions that I can forward to Gaspar after the seminar, since he has to leave, please put them in the chat and I will get back to you then via email. So many thanks for being with us. Just to tap your brains as well, let's just do a quick Slido poll to also understand where you are coming from, you, the audience, from different SMEs and organizations. So just go to, just take your phone and scan the QR code, or go to your web browser, put in slido.com, and you can search this poll via the hashtag EDIH. And the first question that we had for you before today, how familiar were you with European Digital Innovation Hub? So have you never heard of them? Have you heard the name, but you didn't know what they do? Have you already worked with an ADIH, or do you have some basic knowledge? So just put in your answer to see where you are coming from. We see the first answers coming in, that you have some basic knowledge, which is already good. We have people who've never heard of them, and also somebody who's already worked with an EDIH, which is also great that you have some previous experience. I will give it a few more seconds, so take your phones, just scan the QR code and put in your answer. It's quite simple. Anybody else? Yeah, you have some basic knowledge. That's great. And we will hear also some very concrete examples in a moment. Just let me ask you one more question. How would you describe your organization's level of digitalization? Are you just starting? Do you already have some digital tool in place? Are you advanced in certain areas? You can also put in the chat in which. Or are you highly digitalized? So you already can benefit from the advanced services. EDIH. You have some digital tool in place. All of you say you're advanced in certain areas already. Very good. Just starting, some are just starting, also very good. You have some tools in place. Very good. And one last question. This is a word cloud. What kind of digitalization support would be most valuable for your organization? And maybe this is also something that we can discover that the EDIHs are doing. So just put in one word, what kind of support would be most valuable for you to help you advance in your digitalization activities, may it be AI or different areas. And just type in what would be helpful to you. Okay, you do need AI. We have that twice, once the English and once the Spanish version. A trusted network, also very helpful. Yes, a trusted network is also very helpful indeed. What else? AI, most of you are typing in AI, which is why it appears already bigger in the word cloud. Tourism case study, so let's see about that. Idea exchange, pretty sure that's great. That's provided as well by the EDIHs. And let's see, one more is typing, product, services, blue economy, also interesting. Access to other organizations, to scale, to see different products. Great. Instrument to engage the community. Indeed. And I see sandboxes. Okay. That was also referred to by Gaspar as one of the possibilities to support the entities. Then let's hear from our digital innovation hubs. I will first hand over to Lorenzo to give us an overview of the ER2-digit EDIH from Emilia-Romagna in Italy. So let us know what you do and how do you support the companies. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you, Nina. Thank you for inviting us. It's really a pleasure to be here. I hope you hear me on the microphone. So as mentioned by Gaspar and Nina in the beginning, I'm representing R2Digit, which is a European Digital Innovation Hub, which is active in the Emilia-Romagna region in Italy. And in the next slides, I will just briefly remind you of what was the presentation, the broad presentation of the European Digital Innovation Hub initiative. So can you skip to the next slide, please? Okay, thank you very much. We are part of this network of 250 and more. So Gaspar counted 220, but of course the number is growing as we look at the new entities that are joining. In our case, we are an hub working in Italy, meaning that we are getting a double funding, one from the European Commission under the Digital Europe program, and the other 50% by the Ministry of Enterprises and Made in Italy from Italy. And so that's why we have this aim to serve both public sector organizations and small medium enterprises in Italy. In Italy, we are a network of 13 hubs that are this double financing and a seal of excellence network that is supporting also companies, which counts to more than 24. So basically in Italy, there are almost 40 projects like ours that are supporting small, medium enterprises and the public sector organization. As mentioned in the beginning, the first batch of European Digital Innovation Hub is going to end in April 2026 for Italy, because we have been funded upon that deadline. And after that, we, of course, will remodel the way that we will work, and we will present a new opportunities for public sector organizations and small medium enterprises to help them access the network and the options that are out there. So just a brief overview in the next slide, please, of how HeritageDigit is set. HeritageDigit works in the Emilia-Romagna region, meaning that we have a strong tie with the public sector organization in the region and small medium enterprises in the region, and we work as a facilitator to connect with all the other ADHs in the country and, of course, in Europe. At the same time, we are promoting the 4 category of services that Gaspar presented you in the first slides, and we have already a focus on artificial intelligence and supercomputing facilities because, as you will see in next slides, our consortium basically is made of 3 entities. Next slide, please, Nina. The 3 entities are Arthur, which I represent, who is the coordinator, is the development agency for the Emilia-Romagna region, promoting research and innovation with the public sector organization, research universities and organization in the region, and small medium enterprises. Along with us is Lepida, which is the in-house agency for broadband connectivity, for digital ID services to all citizens in the region, and of course also high technology services like IoT services, chatbot services, only tailored to public sector organizations in the region. And the third one is Cineca, which is the national consortium running the supercomputer Leonardo, which is located in Bologna, Emilia-Romagna, and of course is also the coordinator of the Italia AI Factory, so one of the AI factory that was presented before. And thanks to this small consortium, all with, let's say, headquarters or working offices and infrastructures in the Emilia-Romagna region, we were able to deliver a set of services. In the next slide, please. I will just recap some numbers. That is what we have done in the 3 years of work so far, more than 2 years now. For the budget that we divided half from Europe, half from the ministry, we were able to run several activities. The most important is that we delivered services to more than 44 public sector organizations and more than 60 small medium enterprises, companies in the region. So everything we have done is set in the regions. I would just want to spend some time on the next slide, because it's the slide that shows you the kind of work that we have been doing since the beginning. We issued 4 set of calls, meaning that our ADH worked as a hub that was presenting our territory, our innovation ecosystem with opportunities to join and use the services. And we started early in 2023 by targeting public sector organizations with more than 500,000 of service portfolio value, and then shifting to 2024 and now to 2025. €1.5 of value of services, meaning that we do not provide public sector organization and small medium enterprises with vouchers or with funding, but we provide them with services. Test before invest services, access to ecosystem and networking services, access to finance services and skills and training services that are provided directly by our hub or by laboratories and universities that are collaborating with us, meaning that we were able to deliver this almost more than 2.2 million euros of services that are closing right now in these days to almost more than 100 beneficiaries. For us, it's a great goal, because it's the way that we try to gather all the opportunities, all the technical assets and the connections with iFactories, with other opportunities like Enterprise Europe Network, and also direct networking between companies and public sector administrations in this really short period of time, and able to form a benchmark, a baseline of, say, power users, power client that will then be contacted again in the future when we will represent the new service portfolio. So in the next slide, I will just show you other side network opportunities that we created. One of these is a First Digital. Unfortunately, it's all in Italian, but is a free access website, web information platform where you can find information on every call, news, and event connected to digital transformation in Italy and of course also in Europe, meaning that we targeted it to Italian reading users, but of course we are gathering information from every channel out there, thanks to our colleagues that follow day by day news and funding opportunities in the EU ecosystem. In the next slide, I will just also remind you of Italia, the AI factory. As I mentioned, our European Digital Innovation Hub will stop working in April 2026. Then there will be a phase of reassembling the portfolio and jumping to 2027 with a new set of opportunities from our side, especially for public sector organizations, but also for GovTech companies that work with public sector organizations. But in the meantime, you're not uncovered because we are supporting continuously access to opportunities that are given by other projects that are running at the present time and that will be running until 2028. One of these is the Italia AI Factory, which is operating at nationwide scale and also accepting proponents, applicants from all over Europe to access to HPC supercomputer opportunities, AI tailored services that are available for small, medium enterprises and public sector organizations. In the next slide, I will just, and the next one also, please, Nina, thank you very much. I will just jump to some examples of what we were able to do thanks to our colleagues and our partners. For example, one of the services that we deliver to a small, medium enterprise, almost a startup in Emilia-Romagna, was a machine learning solution to access the company, let's say, footprint in marine ecosystem. So there is this See the Change company based in the Emilia-Romagna region, which is working on this Seas 1.0 portal, which is basically a service for company that want to access their footprint in marine ecosystem and also access to opportunities that can help them counterbalance their footprint on the marine ecosystems. And of course, they delivered high quality opportunities to access for company to specific packages of footprint amelioration and improvement. And of course, they benefited from access to Cineca services, especially to access to machine learning solution that can improve the way the new issues of the portal can work by uptaking documentation from the clients of this startup and starts to work on the documentation of the client based on the machine learning approach. Of course, it's all tailored to the needs of the company, and it was made possible because we put technicians and experts on AI and digital solution from Cineca directly in contact with experts and people working in the startup, and in just a couple of months they were able to assess the case and work on a possible solution at the proof of concept level, and then the startup will be able to work on how to put it in play directly in their products. The next case study, please, in the next slide, is tailored to the textile sector in the Emilia-Romagna, which is quite a strong sector and is also tied to small, medium companies that have grown a lot. So they have quite big factories working on that side, also on specific garments and specific textile that are high quality. Thanks to a high technology network laboratory working in our region, Centro Qualità Tessile, we were able to bring AI vision solution to spot any defects in the production of high quality and high cost, high expensive fabrics in their plant, meaning that as of today, the quality check are almost made by humans that are staring at the textile that is running in the machines. And of course, if you spot something wrong and it's too late when you spot it, you have to get rid of a lot of textiles, and you lose, of course, precious materials and, of course, a lot of money, a lot of time. So we introduced this system based on AI and a vision-based model that is able to both learn from the typical defects of fabrics and at the same time cope this with synthetic data generated from a library. The high, let's say, added value of this service is that it has been replicated almost up to 10 times in up to 10 different small medium enterprises working in the same sector, meaning that this library is growing. And of course, this service can be then upscaled by the Centro Qualità Tessile Laboratory, and it becomes an interesting way of making collaboration between the research organizations and the small medium companies working in the on the territory. The last case study in the next slide, please, is the one that made it to the market, let's say. We are very happy about that because we helped a company, a publishing company working in the Emilia-Romagna region that is called Appears, to develop a RAG system, so basically a highly trained chatbot on the content of a specific book collection dedicated to teachers. Meaning that now there is just already 2 books published that, of course, is accessible both in the physical and ebook format, and they are coped with a chatbot that can answer teachers' questions on the specific content of the book, and of course help teachers develop specific educational programs, educational training activities based on a certified and specific content delivered, taking from all the collection that will be published, meaning that we were able to intercept the need of the company, and with the help of the Mr. Smart Innovation Laboratory, which is a high technology network laboratory working in our region, we were able to put the need and the solution all together, and they tested a proof of concept within a couple of months, 3-4 months maybe, and then now they are working together to see how to maintain this implemented RAG system. So it's basically a tailored chatbot on the needs of the company and make it work also in a continuous way. So meaning that the collaboration is shifting from the European Digital Innovation Hub directly to a direct contact between the research organization and the company. So that's what we are willing to promote, a way of putting and connecting the dots and helping companies and the research and innovation ecosystem find opportunities to work together. Now I'm just jumping to the really last slide, and the next one, please, which is what's next. As Gaspar told you, the call for the European Digital Innovation Hub Network 2.0 is closing in next Tuesday. So we are working on that. We will present a new portfolio. We will scale up to national level, meaning that in the next year, 2027, Italy specifically will invest resources in focusing on just 10 hubs that will work together at national level with different focus. Our focus will be public sector organization, public administrations, and so we hope to be soon again with you with new portfolio of opportunities, also tailored to the small and medium enterprises that are directly working to public sector organizations. And that was my last slide. In the next one is the closing one, where you can find the contacts, and probably I just made some extra minutes, but of course I'm available to answer emails via our email r2digit@arter.it. So thank you very much.
Many thanks, Lorenzo, for this run through of all your activities. Some great examples that you've shown us to be very concrete, to showcase in which directions it can go. I understand it can be very much adapted to what are the needs of the company. So everyone in our audience will have a very specific need and a different idea. So it's great to see that the EDIHs can address the very individual needs that the companies can bring to them. So thanks for that. If anybody has any questions for Lorenzo, just put them in the chat and we will address them. And before that, we also have another presentation because we have a great example from Romania with us, Bianca Muntean, to present to us the activities in Transylvania.
Hello, everyone, and thank you very much for inviting me and for allowing me to showcase our activity here in Southeastern Europe. We saw the great example of Lorenzo and, of course, Gaspar, the European Commission, made us a comprehensive presentation of the EDIHs and their role in supporting the digital transformation and AI adoption in their respective regions. You can pass, Nina, to the next slide. All these EDIHs, I think it's very important for you to know that are covering different regions, different parts of Europe. And the idea is to deploy and to make the access to the digital transformation services, but also to AI support services to every SME or local public administration in the EU and also the associated countries. We also work in a consortia. We as coordinators, we are an IT cluster, a technology cluster, but we are working very, very close with our partners, which are namely clusters from other fields of activity, furniture, agriculture, creative industries, energy, but also from the universities and the research institute. And the main idea of these EDIHs is that they gather capacities available in their respective regions. They gather expertise, but also access to infrastructure, and they put it all in one place for you as beneficiaries to be able to access it. Next slide, please. So we are acting in our region, in Northwestern region, because Romania has 7 such EDIHs in the first call, and also based to the national Romanian digital transformation strategy, those 7 digital innovation hubs will continue their activities until 2029. And the type of the services we are offering are built on the same pillars Gaspar showed us at the beginning of the meeting. So networking and ecosystem opportunities, but also training and skills, test before invest services, and support to find investment. Next slide, please. Also, what is important maybe to know is that each digital innovation hub, based on their respective needs and the profile of the regions they are acting in, they specialized and they build expertise and support services which are relevant for the small and medium-sized enterprise, but also for the local public administration from their respective regions. That means that these digital innovation hubs have the local knowledge, but also access to national and European opportunities in order to serve the existing needs. Next slide, please. We are also funded through Digital Europe program by the European Commission, but also through national funding. And also for the next period, because we've already been evaluated, we will be supported by the national authorities as we received the Seal of Excellence label. Next slide, please. We are connected because we are representing and try to solve local needs and local requests, but we are very well connected to different regional, national, and European networks, also working for bringing these global European opportunities closer to our local and regional clients. Next slide, please. I already spoke about the 4 main pillars on which each digital innovation hub acts and bases its activities. Next slide, please. So, when we are speaking about what we did in the past 3 years, but I also must say that you should look at these digital innovation hubs as not only part of the European Digital Innovation Hub network, but to look at them as facilitators and curators of different opportunities. And also Lorenzo was mentioning that we are not looking only in our project or on our EDIH projects, but we are looking much more beyond those in order to identify different other opportunities or resources for digital transformation, for taking them in our regions and also in putting them the use of our beneficiaries. And Gaspar mentioned very nice and very well that one of the things these digital innovation hubs are doing in their regions is that they are building these trusted networks. We've started to work as a cluster, and we know how important is this trusted environment for making the businesses to work and for making different opportunities available in our region and for our clients. So what we are doing also as a digital innovation hub, because we based all our activity and we built it based on our previous experience as a cluster, we create this trusted environment for digital transformation experiments, pilots, and also accessing different type of opportunities. Until now, we have over 70 beneficiaries, but until the end of June this year, we will pass 110 beneficiaries directly involved and receiving support services from our EDIH. We organize a lot of events and opportunities for the people to meet, people interested in digital transformation, but also the best experts which are offering these digital transformation services. We are building a lot of, and we are creating a lot of awareness services and a lot of opportunities for the people to meet and to engage in different collaborations. We delivered over 120 services, and also we created over 50 educational videos. What we noticed, because we look very carefully at the impact of our services on our beneficiaries, we could find until now an increasing of 12% in the digitalization within the supported organization. Next slide, please. When we are speaking about our impact, we are looking at different components, and here you have some of them. Green digitalization, automation and AI, data governance, human-centric digitalization, digital readiness, but also the digital business strategies which are being made available in our clients' activities, but also the digital maturity assessment score. And what you have to know is that we always start the collaboration by looking at the level of digitalization of our clients. Then we are looking at this after 1 year, after we already started and we deployed several services, support services to our clients, to see if there is any improvement or any change in their working mode and in their digital adoption. And you can clearly see that we have improvements in different areas, and you can also take the next slide, Nina, please. And what we notice that the biggest impact we are having in the human-centered digital skills, because without having the knowledge and the right knowledge and the right preparation of our staff in order to use the digital tools, the different AI centered activities, we cannot make the most out of it. So what we noticed that also an improvement following our support services was on the data governance and the cybersecurity, but also in automation and AI adoption. And the highest score is that we managed to design and to propose a personalized digital strategy for every beneficiary we served, even if we speak about small and medium-sized enterprises, but also of the public sector organization. That allows them not only to benefit directly from our services in trainings and support to find investment and test before invest, but also this digital strategy allows them to access other opportunities, because this overspill effect we are creating as an EDIH is very clear. So stronger competitiveness, clear digital roadmaps, and high readiness for EU funding and collaboration for our clients. Next slide, please. You have this type of information, and of course on our website you can find different reports and study cases and presentations from all our events. Next slide, please. And I put you here two study cases. One on the Romanian Academy, which is a public sector organization, but which entered into our program and at the medium level of digitalization with a fragmented process and limited interoperability across different institutes in the country. And while receiving our support, they had access to the tailored action plan, digital and technical trainings, access to laboratories and cloud services, mentoring and funding support, and also networking and matchmaking. So as a result, they managed to have a strengthened digital competence, optimized IT infrastructure, active engagement in green initiatives, but also they accessed some supplementary funding in order to digitize a lot of their documents and their processes. We have a presentation more detailed in our success stories catalog. And the next slide is presenting a service we provided to one of our clients, which is a startup focused in medical recovery, which had an advanced level of digitalization, but were lacking a long-term strategy. And they were facing challenges in the process integration. Here we offered different type of support services as a digital innovation hub. And what they managed to find through our experts and our services, they gather strengthened capabilities in advanced digital technologies. Also, they have in place now a VR product validated through clinical testing and access to partnership and funding opportunities for scaling. I wanted to give you these different examples because we are not offering services to the IT companies or very advanced startups in tech, but we are mainly focusing on traditional activities, traditional SMEs, and also public organization needs in terms of digital transformation. And of course, on the last slide, you have our contact information, because it's a huge amount of work, examples, do's and don'ts, because actually what we did in these 3 years, we tested a lot of ways in order to make the digital transformation services as efficient as possible for our clients. And now at the next phase, we know better what to do. We already built capacities and knowledge which were not existing in our ecosystem beforehand, and now we are even more prepared to serve the needs of our beneficiaries. Thank you very much, and of course, if you have any questions, I'm here to answer.
Many thanks, Bianca. Great presentation as well of your activities. I put in the chat the link to the catalog of all the EDIHs. We have seen over 220, 250 entities, depending on who you count under the different funding sources. So there is a huge network of digital innovation hubs that are available to you. So please, we encourage you to have a look at the map and the list, so that you can filter according to the country that you're in or according to the sector which you are most interested in. And there is in the filter, for example, creative industries and heritage, so you can filter which of the EDIHs look into these specific sectors, but maybe as Bianca and Lorenzo also made very clear, the different regions have different strengths, and the digital innovation hubs work on those different strengths in the region. So even if you independently of the description, the read of the digital innovation hub, there might still be a great solution for you if you address your regional innovation hub. And if you cannot find one immediately in your region, maybe go to the neighboring region to check the collaboration opportunities for you. So many thanks for bringing us these very concrete examples of the work that you were doing. It was fantastic, and we're looking forward to staying in touch, and we encourage all of you to make the connection with the EDIHs if you haven't done so yet, and if you have done, continue the good work. We will close here for now, but we're looking forward to our next webinars, which we will announce on the MetaHeritage website and via our newsletter. So stay tuned for future opportunities. Many thanks again to Lorenzo and Bianca for being with us today and for presenting the cases. The very best of luck for the updating of your portfolios and for the next years to enhance the services, and we stay in touch. Many thanks to everybody, and have a great rest of the day.
Goodbye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye. Have a nice day.